The Côte d'Azur, the French Riviera, whatever you want to call it, there is no denying the star power that the city of Cannes delivers. From the turquoise waters to where the famous film festival takes place just down the beach. The only difference this week for Stage 5 of the Global Champions League is that the stars of the show are the world's best show jumpers. I've given Dan Strange keys to the city, freedom to explore. Let's get the first stage of GCL underway here in Cannes. Dan Strange, what have you got for us?
The keys to this splendid city, Mark. What an amazing thing to have. I'd like to have the keys to some of the yachts that are out there in the Mediterranean. And wandering around here, who do I bump into? The Cannes stars. Sana, what are you guys doing here?
Just having a team meeting.
Ahead of the GCL for today on home soil. A nice lot of pressure, or is that a privilege?
I think it's a big privilege. We are all happy to be here, and it's amazing to be here in Cannes. It's so beautiful.
It is a beautiful place. It's a real vibe as well. Jana, what's your vibe in Cannes? Is it gelato searching? Is it yacht dreaming, or are you a beach lounger?
I mean, after last year winning the Grand Prix, I had a very positive vibe coming back. But anyway, it's a beautiful place. I mean, it's a place some others would do holiday, and we are here for the competition. So I think it's amazing to be here.
With Jana winning a 5-star Grand Prix here last year, we know who's got the yacht here in Cannes. But what's the most Cannes thing that you've done so far?
The most Cannes thing? We're not so long, so the most Cannes thing so far is taking care of my horses.
Really glamorous that, mucking out. So looking ahead, under the lights, with a maximum crowd in at the arena, how much does that lift the team, and how much more difficult does it make the weekend for you?
I think we are looking very much forward for the team classes later, and if there is a good and full crowd, I think it's the most motivating thing we can get. So I'm really looking forward to go in and compete later, and I hope that we can have some really good results.
Jana, rallying cry for all the Cannes Stars fans?
Yeah, I mean, for us it's more supportive, and we luckily sometimes we have a really nice crowd behind us. I mean, the whole team from the Iron Dames always support us really from behind, and I hope they're coming today also. We will see.
We've got a bit of a history. Whenever I interview Cannes stars, and Sana always comes up with a prediction, and it normally comes true. What's going to happen today?
Yeah, you know the answer, no? Going to win the team competition today, no?
Guys, you need to head off away from the red carpet to the arena, and we'll be cheering you on. Best of luck.
An incredible view, a bird's eye view of what is looking like here in the city of Cannes as we stand by for the opening moments of GCL Round 1 on the French Riviera. A true unveiling of the start of the summer season here for the GCL. And what a better location, what a better city to find ourselves in to officially kickstart summer for 2025. We are moments away from starting the Global Champions League first round, and we are very happy to have you here alongside with us. And Dan Strange always has a great knack of being able to find some of those riders in and around the beautiful marina here in the city of Cannes. Welcome to the show if you have just joined us. Let's take a moment to catch our breath and remind ourselves what took place at the previous stage, because before we can dive deep into the city of Cannes, we need to remind you as to what took place in Madrid in the previous stage. This is what happened in the GCL of Madrid.
Welcome to Madrid, the Spanish capital, which is host to second round of the Global Champions League here in Madrid. And next up, Mariano Martinez Bastida. Here we go, final fence time's going to be good. Here we go, pops it, and we have our first double clear in the second round for the Saint-Tropez Pirates. Now, the team on 5 next is Monaco Comets. Margins for error minimal. Oh, it's going to be cross if she goes clear over this one with that one fence down. Good time, but 9 faults it is, so they will finish ahead of Cannes Stars, but they slip behind the Saint-Tropez Pirates. But Gilles Thomas, can he keep this good run going? Time's fine. Bit of a bogey fence this one. No problems for Gilles Thomas and Hermitage Cologne coming to the final fence. Well, that is once again a masterclass from Gilles Thomas. Now, Now the equation, we've got to work out the time factor here. I don't think she's going to do it in terms of time. I think now she's got to kick on, but she's not. I don't think she can do it. No, she can't. The Falcons United have won again here in Madrid.
Yeah, winning is always nice, and especially when you win with a team, then everybody is happy, so that's very nice.
The 2024 champions of the Global Champions League return in 2025 and are successful once again in Madrid. It is proving to be a very, very happy hunting ground for Falcons United, going on to once more lift the GCL trophy, this time in 2025. What is the impact of Madrid? That's the big question. What is the results of Madrid done to the overall rankings of the GCL? We know the Shanghai Swans have been flying high in 2025. How big is their lead? Well, as it stands, that's relatively handsome over the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, although they now find themselves level with Falcons United on 83, as we see the top three starting to break away a little bit from the Monaco Comets and the Prague Lions. But things get very tight there between the Prague Lions, New York Empire, and arguably even Saint-Tropez Pirates, Madrid in Motion, and Riesenbeck International, powered by Horse Gym. Almost seeing two groups in the top half of that table. Then we take a look at the bottom half, and you'll be very surprised to see that the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M We Love Horses, once a GCL championship contender, now really struggling in 2025, unable to put together some of those performances that we've seen in the past that have made them previous championship contenders. Because of this, we thought it to be quite important to go have a chat with the Stockholm Hearts to find out what is not clicking, what is not happening in 2025 that's seeing them deliver the performances that they have been. Dan Strange sits down with the Stockholm Hearts.
Malin Inigo from the Stockholm Hearts. Obviously, last season GCL Super Cup winners here in Cannes. First of all, Malin, what's it like to be back here after last year's win?
It's really nice. It's a show that I really, really like. I've had some good results here, so it's great to be back.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's not been a great season so far for the team. What do the team put that down to?
We try always to go to the shows, to organize and to bring the best riders and best horses to the shows. And sometimes there are facts that they're not from we cannot control, things that we cannot control that happen. And I guess we had a bit of bad luck, and yeah, that's a bit why we have been like this.
How now does this group of riders differ from last year?
You know, we've had a start that's not great. All we can do now is to get better. You know, it's a bit of a new team. I've not been to so many shows. My mare is 17 years old. I have to pick and choose a bit more than previous years. Inigo is new, developing the whole time. You know, we're just hopefully doing that now. We've been a bit down here, but we're hopefully slowly going to pick some points now and turn these results around.
Inigo, what was it like making your debut on the Global Champions League with a legend like Malin? What did that feel like, and what have you taken from this season so far?
A lot of experience. Doha and Mexico both have been very good. Really happy to have been part of the team. Always been in the team with the super rider, so I cannot complain, and they share the experience, and really happy about all that. So it's also experience for me, and be grow for the future.
With all your experience, what learnings are you giving him?
You know, I think he's done great. It's really, really hard to do this, because jumping individual is hard, but then to be on a team and to have the pressure as a team rider, you have the one you ride together with, but you also have all the ones watching from home and hoping and really wanting you to do well. So it's a lot of pressure, but he's handled it so well, so I'm totally relaxed about Inigo, and I'm sure he's just going to get better and better.
Obviously, there's a new rule this season, which is 17th in the league don't go to the playoffs. Paris at the moment are the only team below you. Has it crossed the team's mind that you could win the GCL Super Cup one year and not be able to try and retain your title? Or is that something that's not discussed yet? I realise we're only 4 shows in. You know, we don't discuss it, because we do show by show, and we have to start performing better. That's a fact, and you know, that's why we go to the shows to perform. So we're going to turn this around, and we're going to make sure we're in Prague. How from last year, do you, with those horses and with that form that you had last year, how do you expect them to retain that form, regain that form this year?
Well, you know, it's so hard to win this team class because you have the 4 rounds, there's 2 different horse rider combinations, maybe even more, and it's really, really tough to win. So whenever you win, you should really enjoy it because it is hard. But, you know, we're going to do our best for sure and see how far that takes us.
Could this be a springboard show for the Stockholm Hearts team that are in desperate need of some major championship points to try to get themselves further off the bottom of that table? As Dan pointed out, a new rule in 2025. Now, all of a sudden, the bottom team of the championship will not go to the highly sought-after GC Prague playoffs later on this year in November. And that is a major, major ticket for all of these teams. So finishing bottom of the table, missing out on that opportunity is going to be incredibly costly. The Stockholm Hearts cannot afford for that to be their reality. They will be fighting today and throughout the rest of the season to move themselves further up and make sure that they are indeed involved at the Prague playoffs later on this year. But what a contrast from the Stockholm Hearts to Falcons United. We mentioned their back-to-back wins in Madrid over 2024 and 2025. They have incredibly experienced riders. They have the hugely informed Gilles Thomas, and they are looking to try and make it back-to-back wins here in Cannes. Dan Strange took a bit of a walk with Oliver Lazarus.
Ollie, a resurgence in form in the last few legs for Falcons United. What's been the response of the team?
No, it's been amazing. I mean, we always knew it's a very strong team, great riders, great horses. So I don't want to say we expect it, but there is that expectation, you know. And like I said, when you put great horses, great riders together, the guys just do their thing. So no, I'm very, very proud of them.
What's it like being part of a team with such legacy?
It's amazing, you know, growing up, a few of the riders, especially in the past and still the present team, you know, I looked up to growing up. And so to ride with these guys, it's an absolute honor. It's a dream. I try to learn, try to watch them. And yeah, it's, like I said, it's just a dream. There's no other word to say it.
Do you feel your roles change from, you've ridden on the team now for a few seasons, but almost being one of the more spotlight riders within the team? Is that fair?
I think, you know, I'm always willing to put myself out there. I have a very good horse now. Over the years, also I took a step a little bit out of the sport, not out of producing the horses. We built our facility, but now, you know, it's taken me a season or 2 just to get up to speed onto this level, because this is the last level and things can go right and can go wrong really quickly. I feel this year I have the horse to help me and back me up. So I'm excited for the rest of the season. I think a lot of them, and I trust myself, and I hope this last 2 seasons are setting me up well for this season.
Just looking back to Madrid for a second, the comment on the interview at the end was it almost looked comfortable for the team, and they sort of said, yeah, it was. How did the team view it?
I was working hard from the couch at home, to be honest. But those guys, they're great riders, and they all, you know, another big thing is everyone's putting their best horses in this year, which is really cool. And so they're top professionals, and they're just getting the job done. They're staying really calm, and I think the results speak for themselves.
Very different show here in Cannes from Madrid. Obviously, big grass ring there.
Yeah.
It's very different here in Cannes. How does it suit you and Lorenzo, and how does it suit your horsepower?
It's interesting. I was going to bring Miss Paris as my second horse. She doesn't suit the ring here. You know, the warm-up is very tight. The ring is big enough, but always a square is more difficult. Rectangles or longer rings, easier for some reason. It just gives a better rhythm. Squares are a little more tricky because you're shooting off the turns. You're a bit like a ping pong ball, and small warm-up. So I think you need something a little more like towards an indoor horse, something explosive, very, very careful, because the jumps are going to come up quickly.
Second and then first in the last 2 rounds for Falcons United. Is it fair to say that Falcons United are back in business?
I think so. I think, you know, it's always, unfortunately, the last few seasons, it hasn't really gone away, but we're a team that's always in business, you know, so there's always, again, that expectation, that belief that we can deliver. So let's see, let's cross our fingers and hope for the best.
A team in form coming off the back of a Madrid victory, and once again now looking to make that back-to-back wins. All of a sudden, Lorenzo De Luca and Oliver Lazarus are trying to catapult Falcons United even further up those championship standings as they try and close the gap on those teams above them, the Shanghai Swans in particular, who are the pace setters for 2025. Oliver Lazarus talking about what is to come later on tonight. They will be 11th to go out the start gate today, so they will have a a couple of teams ahead of them to maybe just help them draw some lines, to confirm some theories or some thoughts as to what is taking place here today. And they will be using that time to make sure that they check out every single fence, every single line, to make sure that they can try and deliver a double clear in that opening round. Speaking of the Shanghai Swans, we've said the championship leaders, multi-time winners already in the GCL stage in 2025 this year. They are the team that is red hot. They are the team that are setting the pace, and they are the team that everybody is trying to replicate. Well, Christian Ullmann gives us some thoughts as to how and why the Swans are performing the way they are.
Christian, Shanghai Swans flying high at the top of the GCL and a sensational last two rounds at home in Shanghai and then second in Madrid. What's the feeling, what's the belief within the team at the moment?
The feeling is pretty good right now. So, like you said, we had a pretty good start. We're a very strong team, and horses are fit, and all things works together right now. So let's cross fingers that we can keep the situation a little bit longer.
It's a very different arena here from Madrid. Obviously, the horses enjoyed it in Madrid. How does the strategy change for this arena? It's very square.
Yeah, like you said, is totally different game this weekend. I have a young horse in the first round, untouched. He had good results in the last few weeks and on 5-star level. I'm really happy with it, but still it's very new for him. Ben's horse has a lot more experience, and for the second round we have another 3 very good options. So yeah, in general we are in good shape, but like you said, especially for me, is a new situation, and hope he has the same jumping than on the other shows.
I know you really want to get him walk the course, so I'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Imagine being Max Kuhne, the team manager of the Shanghai Swans, and having the ability, having the luxury of being able to wake up in the morning for each and every show and decide whether or not that Christian Ullmann, Ben Mayer, or himself, Max Kuhne, or Daniel Deusser should do the job today. You think of the amount of experience, the amount of horsepower that those 4 riders possess, and the fact that Max Kuhne has the luxury of picking between those men. It is no surprise that the Shanghai Swans are the dominating team in 2025. Many will be asking, in fact, just how and why it's taken them so long to finally click and find this form, but they are doing it in 2025, that is for sure. Christian Ullmann and Untouched will be the first out for the Shanghai Swans as they come out 6th, followed by Ben Mayer and Ginger Blue. Can they keep their red hot form alive and provide a double clear at the start of GCL round 1? The course walk is officially underway. In fact, you can see right over my shoulder that all the riders here in Cannes are officially doing their lines. For anyone that is new to the world of show jumping, how and what are they doing? Well, they are measuring strides. They are trying to calculate from a point A to a point B, what is the exact distance, where will their horse need to take off, and where will their horse need to land to give themselves enough time, enough power, and enough balance to get over each and every single one of these fences. Let's get some thoughts from one of the greatest minds in our current GCL season, and that belongs to Christian Kuckuck as he stands by with Dan Strange. Dan, let's hear from Christian.
Thanks, Mark. One of the greatest minds in the GCL indeed, Christian Kuckuck. Now, Christian, we're here. It's technical part of the course from 4 into 5A and B, a related line. Was it 5 strides? Explain why this part of the course is difficult as we walk through this double.
Well, first of all, it's 4 strides. 4 strides. But you're right, but I honestly think that the whole course is very, very technical. The fences are coming very, very quickly. But especially here, we have only 4 strides to get managed for this very big double, actually, vertical oxer. We have to have a good stretch out here. And then there is really a huge oxer coming very, very quickly away from the in-gate there. So as soon as you land after that oxer, you have to focus and you have to get your rhythm for 6. But you can not only think about 6, because then there's 7A and B coming up, and it's only 7 or 8 strides on a bending line. So everything depends on your rhythm and on your focus today. You have to be really sharp in your head and always quickly thinking and always being ahead, actually, of where you are at that moment. So for sure that double is a tough ask, but then, to have your right rhythm, the right balance and the right distance to number 6 is very important, but then also having everything organized for whatever you want to do, 7 or 8 to the next double, and then 6 strides later is an oxer. So everything today is very, very, very technical, I have to say.
You're on George. How does it suit him today? Because it's a square arena, as you said. There's a lot of balance, and you're thinking constantly, he's thinking constantly. But how does it suit him, this arena and the course?
Well, normally I would say a technical course is not too bad for him. He's very nice to ride. He's very adjustable. Normally he's very well listening to me, so whatever I ask him, he's able to do. It's just about me today that I'm very, very focused, that I have my plan in my head. And that I give him the right rhythm in the end. I think the rhythm is very important today. If you break the rhythm once here, you end up in a struggle somewhere, I think. So I have to make sure that I'm not doing that.
We all thought it was going to be the dream team back together, Philip and you here, but Philip dropped out just before the competition. Emmanuel Camili comes in. How does that affect the team? Obviously, it's been a bit of a stuttering start for Riesenbeck this season.
Yeah, I think we were not really lucky so far, and also honestly we didn't really have our best performances at the show so far. But I think Marco and me was a good choice for this week. Marco had a very, very good week in Madrid with Aventador. I won a Grand Prix on George actually 2 weeks ago, so we just thought that's basically the best team we have for this week. That's why we choose the two of us for the team here. And yeah, hopefully we can step up a little bit.
Christian, to you and the team, good luck. And you're a natural on the horses and a natural in front of the camera as well. Thank you for your time, Mark. It's going to be fascinating to see how Riesenbeck International and Christian go. Back to you.
That's a good lineup. Thank you very much, Dan Strange, Christian Kuckuck and Charles George. Marco Kutscher and Aventador will be out for Riesenbeck International. And before we wrap, let's give you an opportunity to get to know the man Michael Duffy a little bit better. The man riding for the Basel Cosmopolitans and B Skyhawk is highly regarded by friends and competitors alike. Let's get to know the man a little bit more.
Was there a particular moment or a particular quality with Michael that really made you feel you had to have him on the team?
As you know, he's a really brilliant rider, and he has a strong string of horses. And which is really good about him as well is when he doesn't have an older, experienced horse, he's so very, very good at bringing up new ones.
I must say I've ridden for a few teams now down through the years, and the guys are great. You know, you've got Geraldine Straumann is the very talented young rider, and you've got, you know, as you say, Andreas, Marlon, obviously great riders, and the two girls are brilliant as well. So, you know, we've got a good mix of...
I mean, Michael's a great person to train with. I'm very lucky to have him as my trainer. What I admire the most about him is his horsemanship and his patience with the horses. He always says, to get to know them, you have to spend time with them, and that's like a really important thing.
What is horsemanship? I suppose it means a lot of different things to different people, you know. I'm not sure that, you know, just the new fancy gadgets are always the answer. I think, you know, one of my strongest suits is I love spending time with them, you know. My father, since we were very, very young, we weren't very, very wealthy, so we always had to, you know, make the most of it, and he stopped riding. I think he was about 40 years of age, and in one winter we went from 25 horses in the stable and 1 or 2 ponies to 25 ponies and 1 or 2 horses. So, and he always said to me, like, to you know, just keep doing the right things and keep dreaming. So I'm very lucky. I'm very close with my father. He looks after all the mares and the young stock up till they're kind of 5 or 6, and then I take them over. So basically he does a lot of the donkey work, and I take all the credit.
For him, it's equally as important to get into my horses' minds as in his horses' minds. I can see that with his day-to-day work with my horses, so that's what I really admire about his work.
I think he's just so good at making the horses trust him. You will see him also this weekend here in Cannes with a 9-year-old that he already jumped 4-star Grand Prix with. But every time he presents these horses to these bigger tasks, they have a super outcome. So and that in that way you need to have feeling for what you do to do these jobs with young horses.
You know, listen, since I've been very young, I've always been very ambitious and very hungry. You know, I think in general, a lot of the Irish people are born that way, and you know, I've always dreamt of more and to be the best that I can be. And you know, we've got plenty of ammunition in our gun this week. To be honest, we're just going to get lucky.
So underrated, but so appreciated and respected on the Global Champions League stage. Michael Duffy will be competing today for his new team, the Basel Cosmopolitans. He'll be jumping on B Skyhawk alongside Andreas Skau and Dark Deluxe as well. They will be the 8th team to come out of the gate today as we get ready for the opening of GCL here in Cannes. Stage 5, the official start of the summer season. The sun is absolutely pumping. We find ourselves on the French Riviera for multiple back-to-back stages here in and around this region, and this is going to be the first of that middle section of the season that always proves to be so incredibly crucial come the end of the season. Let's remind you as to how the teams will be coming out today. Round 1 is completed by a computer draw. And is in the name of fairness. It means that the Paris Panthers have now drawn first place. The Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team, they will be second out the gates. Thibaut Spitz and Fernando Martinez Soma jumping for the Prague Lions. The Monaco Comets, they podiumed in Doha. They'll be hoping to improve their run of form recently. Edwina Tops-Alexander and Inez Jolie will be jumping for the Monaco Comets. We heard from Christian Kukuk. He will jump alongside Marco Kutscher. Shanghai Swans, the championship leaders, in 6th. Stockholm Hearts struggling for form in 7th. And we then see Falcons United, one of the red-hot in-form teams, jumping in 11th. And the Cannes Stars, the reigning GCL champions, powered by the Iron Dames, will be 14th out the gate, followed by the Doha Falcons, the Saint-Tropez Pirates and the Mexico Amigos. Round 1 of the GCL live from Cannes is next. Let's go to the action.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon and the warmest of welcomes to leg 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Cannes in France. This is the 18th edition of this wonderful horse show, first held here in 2006. And this, the 8th edition of the GCL here in Cannes. It's a very nice afternoon, a little bit cloudy, but we're picking hairs. It's a beautiful late spring afternoon, 25 degrees. And that is the French Riviera. We're in the beautiful Département Alpes-Maritimes. And the Côte d'Azur is just alongside us here in this beautiful arena. Welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour. And this is the scene as we anticipate the 5th leg of what has been a fascinating tussle this season. The GCL has been red hot, and some old faces and some new names have won on the Longines Global Champions Tour, the Grand Prix this year. And what an afternoon we anticipate. The first 4 legs, as I say, have all been compelling sports. Things now starting to hot up as the golden tickets being awarded to the winners of the Grand Prix on the road to the playoffs later this year. It is the 19th edition in terms of the Longines Global Champions Tour that Jan Tops founded back in 2006. This man is at the helm of the course. He's the master from Italy, Uliano Vezzani. And the GCL first round, 430 meters, 69 seconds. And this is the stunning scene around this glittering main arena. The team here has put in huge work, of course, to showcase this event once again. And yes, that is Rikke Blinder-Barker and Steve Tinty taking in a little bit of bubbles prior to the action this afternoon. They're all out assessing the course of Uliano Vezzani and Cedric Longis. The Italo-Franco course team, and Marco Latini is alongside the lead designers. Edwina Tops-Alexander's had a very good start to her 2025 Longines Global Champions Tour season. They're all here. Robert Murphy, he was a very good 3rd place in Shanghai with New York Empire alongside Dennis Lynch and Scott Brash. Christian Ellmann, he won last week the big Grand Prix in Hamburg, the mighty German. Well, we will have 24 individuals to come prior to the teams that will start. 17 teams to come after the individuals. And Sana Tyson had a win actually with that horse Cupcake in Doha, very first leg this year. Sienna Charles here alongside her brother Harry, the Olympic champion. It's a very good horse, Chawton, as is Gregory Cottar's Babisi. His 14-year-old mare is a very good horse for him. And Harry Smulders, he is always a man to watch. Comes middle of the pack. Christian Kukuk, Riesenbeck International, has got Chajorge. They won a 4-star Grand Prix just last weekend. And the world number 2 Olympic team champion Ben Mayer starting at 35 with Ginger Blue. And Oliver Fletcher, he is actually the young rider European champion. Has Hello William to come at 43. And Zoe Contes had a very good start to Longines Global Champions Tour year, and that is La Una for the young Belgian. Late on, and Kern Verreka, he'll be the anchorman for the Mexico Amigos with Meriwether Van der Looy Verrikenhoff this afternoon. Well, Monaco Comets, Deborah Meyer has got a brilliant second team she's established alongside Cannes Stars, last year's champions. They are both powered by Iron Dames, as everybody takes in the scene here in Cannes. And what a scene, shoreline location. It does not come any better than this. The sport will be as glamorous as the location, but it will be action-packed. You absolutely know that this afternoon. Ilana Vetsani is one of the most respected worldwide designers on the course scene. And Jan Tops, of course, at the helm of the Longines Global Champions Tour since its inaugural year in 2006. That's Robert Murphy. He is based with Jos Lansik. And Michael Duffy alongside Andreas Sko having a chat about what we will witness this afternoon. Well, of course, this afternoon is 430 metres in length. It's 69 seconds, the time allowed. There are 12 numbered obstacles out on the course, and there are 3 double combinations, 5A and B, 7A and B, the verticals, the gold seahorses double, 1 stride in the middle of those, and then the late combination is away from the in-gate. That is the real difficult factor. The GCL double at 11A and B. And our trailblazer this afternoon, Kim Emmen enters the heat of battle, and this is Kia Vanta. Kia Vanta, the daughter of Cornet Zablensky, dam size Zambezi Tien for Kim. She is 30 years of age and hails from Ramsdonk in the south of the Netherlands. And this was owned by Eric Berkhoff, her superb loyal owner. Just one Longines Global Champions Tour start for Kim this year in Doha. She did not start the GCL for Madrid in Motion there. She could, of course, come into the Madrid in Motion lineup for the second round. Explosive start from this impressive mare. This mare striking because she only actually started show jumping in October of last year, and this is only her 5th 5-star show down through those golden seahorse pair of verticals. It's a short 6 down to that Blue Wave Oxa 150 by 160. And there's the huge Interservices white plank at 9. This is a crisp round to get us underway this afternoon. Kim Emmen, homebound. Their 5-star debut was in the Scandinavium in Gothenburg this February. And they were at Royal Windsor, and that was a very good second in the Kingdom of Bahrain Stakes for the King's Cup. So what a good horse that is going to be for Kim Emmen in this season's unfolding. It's a very good start this afternoon here in Cannes. A clear round for Kim Emmen, the first of our 24 individuals this afternoon. Angles the mare into the pair of verticals, but such is her athleticism and boldness, she commits down through the second of the 3 combinations. The new starter, this lady punches very hard and heavy. She's quite awesome. Rider for the Cannes Stars, not starting for them in this GCL round 1. Sana Tyson, we welcome. This is Cupcake Z on course. This horse she cones with Sandra Vilmers, bred by Sandra as well. Sana down the short distance between 4 and 5 AB. 4 strides it is. Then the feathers, Liverpool, 150 by 160. Hails from Limburg in the Netherlands. Stal Tyson is in Barlow. Now Sana, a quick break into the plank, bold cut line. That was fearless from this young gun from the Netherlands, and still foot down. Cupcake down through the double is going to really set the cat among the pigeons here this afternoon with a very quick early round at 0.15 only, actually shaved off Kim Emman's time, but it was immaculate as ever from Sana Tyson. Cupcake leads the way. They had that very good win in Doha, 145 competition against the clock on Sunday, the class prior to the Grand Prix, and they showed that same good form here again in Cannes. This man is a young gladiator of some note. He's 21 years of age only. Inigo Lopez del Osa Franco is on course for the Principality of Monaco this afternoon. He is the under-25 rider for Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M We Love Horses. This is the very exciting NASCAR van to Siamshof number 3 this afternoon. This was long-term partner of Peter de Vos and Inigo's new ride this year. Actually was here with Peter in 2022. Yeah, one early mistake, but no huge surprise a second round down into the Gold Seahorses double, because this is their 5-star debut week as a combination, so they really come out into an amphitheatre as 5-star debutants as a pair. Nigo had a very good 13th place, leg 4 in Madrid in the King's Cup with Mako Blue DNL. Also, I suspect he'll saddle in GCL round 2 as he'll bid for Grand Prix qualification here. GCL round 2 doubles up as the Grand Prix qualification class, as well as deciding the fate of the 5th leg of the GCL this year here in Cannes. A little bit disappointing, but as I say, it's a rookie 5-star week for them. They'll have a time penalty as well for 17. This is Inigo's debut on the GCL as well this year, so this young man really coming to battle with the big guns in world show jumping here on the French Riviera. This lady is a force to be reckoned with. She's 30 years of age this time, and Kendra Kosa-Brinkop getting started. Well, number 84 is on the track. Now this is Surprising Dream, SHOZ for Kendra. Her new ride this season is their 2nd Longines Global Champions Tour start this year, having had very good results in Doha. And she was a 2nd and a 3rd in 2 145 classes at Al Shakab for leg 1 this brand new season. Now this horse is, that's his very first 155 height, and the son of Staccato trails the legs over the blue waves at 8. Kendra's family equestrian addicted in her own words. Her family breeds horses. Her sister's got a horse production and sales business as well, so the family rooted in horse sports. And a very good 4th place that Kendra secured for Mexico Amigos, actually in Doha alongside Kern Vereka. They were both debutants in the 1st leg this year. And okay, not their round this afternoon. It's up and down for Kendra Brinkop. And Surprising Dreams time 59.94 was quick, but a couple of rails down for the brilliant German who's been now at the Stefek stables since 2019. A great base of Stefan Conte. This young man, 22 years of age only, Giacomo Cassadei, the Italian getting started. He is from Bologna in Italy. He was in Madrid with us for leg 4 and he had a superb win. He won the Trofeo Gruppo Eulen with this horse. That was on Saturday afternoon. He won me the 45 two-phase competition. He qualified for Grand Prix actually in Madrid but did not start. Giacomo was his inaugural years on the Longines Global Champions Tour last season. Yeah, Shane, not easy that fence, right up by the in-gate. That is the distraction factor. The feathers, I'm afraid, a little light touch from Vitason Vanta Paradis, the Golden Hawk, 15-year-old for Giacomo Cassadei. But this man rides in the colours of the Carabinieri. He's really a good rider. He just keeps things motoring, looks very calm and unruffled in his horsemanship, which is critical. But to do that at 22 on this scene, on this stage, is not easy, and that is his huge ability. Mindset, I think, is really calm. And Giacomo Cassadei comes home. Stern-faced Italian, but he's a huge talent for certain for the future years. And 4 penalties, 61-6. It was a good round, number 5 of the GCL batch of individuals prior to the team competition starting in earnest. The new starter, last year's season champion. What a win for Max Kühne. Ahead of Christian Kuckuck, Jana Fredrika Meert Zimmermann, Eduardo Varas Asnar and Michael van der Vleuten. He left them all in his wake. Quite sensational. Max Kühne is on course. The Austrian, he is ward number 14 as we stand. Now this is his wonderful EIC Julius Caesar on course. They've had a very strong start this year. They were 8th in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Shanghai last outing. They were 3rd in the Grand Prix Hermès in Paris in late March and 5th in the Longines Grand Prix in Hong Kong in mid-February. 61.8 has Sanna Tyson at the head of affairs, but Max Kühne is purring typically. Can just keep a fluent rhythm, Max, without any sort of fireworks or bluster. That is his, again, huge ability. The time of Sanna Tyson is going to just fall, I think. Yes, it does. It's going to be 0.24 of a second. The advantage that the Austrian takes over Sanna Tyson. Very, very cool round. Just again kept that pace up, but no pressure on the horse. It was very, very easy. That is the horseman's qualities that Max Kühne possesses in bucket loads. Super Round and Austria are out in front in the GCL round 1 here in Cannes, leg 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. Oh, this lady, what a spectacular week she had in Madrid. It was quite magnificent for her maiden 5-star Grand Prix win and to win a Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. A huge hat off it was to Yolimita Lineo, is on the course for Greece. That was with Lotista Toxandra. This afternoon is the For Pleasure Kashmir van Schudershoff, son Por Favor van Todusaka is away. Yoli's still just 27 years of age. And this horse was produced by her mother, Hannah Mitterlin-Yao, who herself was an Olympian. Athens Olympics in 2004, Hannah rode Santana and produced this horse between 2021, October that year, through to March of last season. Looks like an outstanding jumper. One early mistake, but again, they're new enough to the level. Only their second 5-star week together, and their 1m55 debut this afternoon. So a couple down for Yolimita Lineo, but the time was quick. And bearing in mind their newness as a 5-star combination, that was a fairly aggressive attacking time that she set off in pursuit of. But of course, her confidence will be sky high after that wonderful win in Madrid. Her first 5-star Grand Prix win ever, and naturally her first win on the Longines Global Champions Tour of one of the illustrious Grand Prix, and her golden ticket stamped We'll see her going to Prague later in November. The new starter, early mistake, I'm afraid, at the opener for this lady who had a super win with us on the Trofeo GNP Seguros of Mexico City. Leg 2 this season. Sara Vingralkova is on the course, 22 years of age. And her rider is Rock and Roll MXL. This horse just 80 years of age, so preciously young. And it is only their third show together. It is their 5-star debut, their 1m55 debut, so if Sara could come home with 4 penalties, that would be very, very good. Sara mentored by Jur Vreeling. She was with Jur at SF Equestrian. That is in the far east flank of the Netherlands for a long time between Nijmegen and Arnhem, but now based in Olomouc at home in the east of the Czech Republic, or Czechia as we better call it. Good enough round, but it's a couple down for Sara Vingralkova. But as I say, newcomer at 5-star level. We'll see more of Rock and Roll MXL. He's only 8. It's number 8 to start this afternoon. Now this hugely talented 27-year-old Megan Massonnier getting started. She is number 141. She's from Lens near Bourg-en-Bresse. It's about a 1 hour from Lyon in the east of France. Megan's first start on the Longines Global Champions Tour in 2018. Her breakthrough year was 2022. Nations Cup debut in La Bourg that year. Team silver for France with Cordio. Now it's a very quick first half around here for Megan. Coup de Coeur de Musa, only 9 years of age, this son of Mosita van Het Hellehoff, cross to Jalisco B. Has ridden for Laurent Gouillet, her superb owner. Laurent, who owns this horse since 2019 because Laurent broke his shoulder. Megan, his neighbour. He needed somebody to ride his horses, but the horses he wanted to stay at home in his stable. And that was what Megan could offer, being so locally based to Laurent Gouillet, and that's a very good round. Wow. Again, they're new enough to the level. It's their 5th 5-star show only, their very first Longines Global Champions Tour show as well. It's only their second 1m55 start. The horse we know has got a lot of scope because he won the 6-part Saint-Tropez-Gassin in March of last year. But Megan Massonnier, with a Longines Global Champions Tour debutant, is out in first place. Brilliant coup de coeur de Musa. Need to see. That's Laurent Gouillet in the blue jersey, walking away very happy. The owner, of course. The new starter. This is a wonderful new ride for Simon Delestre. Number 11 saddles like a titler LS this afternoon. Now again, it's only their second 5-star show together, early mistake. But their 5-star debut was stunning in Madrid because they were 5th in the King's Cup. Leg 4 this year, so this is a very good horse for Simon. He has been to every leg of the Longines Global Champions Tour this year so far. Simon Delestre down through the GCL double, and Acatitla LS homebound. She's on a clear way across to Alcanera de Moyon. And Simon's got a very nice new horse to back up the likes of Cayman Jolly Jumper, his outstanding old partner. Anke Titler comes home for Simon Delestre, the world number 11 here on the French Riviera. The new starter, what a Mexico City this man enjoyed. He was the best to qualify for the Grand Prix with Chaco's Girls Star, having won GCL round 2. Then the sensational Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win for Emanuela Camilli. Normally rides for the Riesenbeck international team. He was part of that very good third place for Riesenbeck. Mexico City, alongside Mark Kutscher and Max Weishaupt at leg 2. Now this is a very interesting Chaco blue side, Chacarino pièce on course for Emanuela. This is another horse only his second 5-star show. He debuted in Madrid and again was just one place behind the pair we just saw in the King's Cup for 6th place. This horse is broken actually very late at 8 years of age. A quirky horse, wild by nature, is Emanuela's description, but massive ability as we're seeing once again. So investing a lot of time in this horse to back up the likes of Chaco's Girls Star. Exciting new ride from Emanuela Camilli. The man from Bad Bergen in the north of Germany comes home. Clear round for him, 62.99 is the Italian's time. And no surprises on a PS suffixed horse because he's married to Vivian Schockemöller. PS Paul Schockemöller's abbreviation, so the horses are in plentiful supply to Emanuela Camilli's saddle. The new starter, the man from Santarém in Portugal, up to the northeast of Lisbon, Duarte Seabra, former world-class eventer, completed a Badminton horse trials twice, the World Games in 2010 in eventing, and 2 Europeans in eventing as well, 05 and 09. Duarte is on course, and this is Cooper LB, the son of Coleman, crossed to Toulon the Dam sire. This pair formed in October of last year. They've jumped 3 legs on the Longines Global Champions Tour this year so far, Doha, Mexico and Shanghai. One down into the Gold Seahorses double for this incredible horseman from Portugal. Very few that have been at championship level in both eventing and show jumping. Goes into the illustrious group that are the likes of Peder Fredriksson, Sir Mark Todd, Mikkel Jung and Zandra Ofart are Duarte's company. It's some list that he is part of. Just one down, sadly, he'll grit his teeth. 7A was the error. It's 155 tall into that Gold Seahorses double on the one stride. And Duarte Seabra has a mid-course 4 with Cooper LB. This impressive horseman for Portugal. Not easy, right up on the flank of this arena, so horses could be distracted. Little movements in the crowd, which is sizable this afternoon. These horses so sensitive, regardless of their size. And Duarte Seabra, he's a charming man, and it's one down, I'm afraid, this afternoon. This young lady, youngest daughter of Peter Charles, started at 2 years in the saddle. Her brother Harry here in Cannes as well. Sienna Charles is on the course, and this is Chawton for the young Brits. She is world number 263. She's passionate about horse breeding, Sienna. Works with Peter on the farm's breeding programme, Heathcroft Farm, their base near the South Downs National Park in the south of England. Sienna's 5-star debut. Ooh, great little adjustment into the big feathers, Liverpool. Really clever footwork that was from Chawton. Little light touch down the reins from Sienna, pays off beautifully. Her 5-star debut was at Falsterbo in 2023. And she was actually 9th in her first ever 5-star Grand Prix again at Falsterbo. Sees a huge stride down to the last fence, and that was really impressive. Sienna Charles absolutely unruffled this afternoon. And actually, this horse was 18th in this very class with Harry last year. And again, it's only their second 5-star week together. They were in Windsor, Royal Windsor Horse Show, 5th in the Pearl Stakes. But they showed their class. And as I say, they've been together only since September of last year. Super round from Sienna Charles. And Great Britain's young gun is out in first place here. GCL round 1 in Cannes. This lady, gritty and determined. She is some competitor. Alexa Ferrer, we welcome for France. She's moving up the world rankings rapidly. Has climbed 20 places recently, up to number 79 in the world now. Alexa is aboard this Vital Horse Fleur d'Oz this afternoon. They were very good in Paris at Le Saut Hermès. They nigh on won. The final fence fell. It was a quicker time than Simone de Lestre and Cayman Jolly Jumper to deny Alexa a win in the home capital, but this is quick. 1 3/4 seconds, the advantage over Sienna Charles. Alexa last year in 2023. And her GCL debut was with the Scandinavian Vikings in 2023, now with Paris Panthers. But now Sienna Charles is going to come just off the hook at the penultimate. That was, very impressive from Alexa Ferrer, but as in Le Saut Hermès, the end of the course for this horse is where he'll typically, or she will typically, run into problems. And I'm afraid it is the late mistake to deny Alexa Ferrer first place here. GCL round 1 on the Longines Global Champions Tour. That was the bounce up and caught, but the late mistake, I'm afraid, comes right about now. This horse is the oldest this afternoon at 18 years of age. Is Hermès van der Vrombaertshoeve on the course. Brazil's world number 257. Luis Felipe Cortizo González de Azevedo Fulho getting started. This is the son of Vigaran Soy, the man on the stadium microphone, Philippe Lejeune Jr. His dad was the pilot of Vigo on the road to the world title in Lexington 2010. 50 years of age. Returned at the start of this year. Had a brilliant second place in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Mexico City last year. Sierra du Pit Rosette, his other very good horse that's here this week as well. And it looks like, after a few down, Luis Felipe Cortizo González de Azevedo Fulho will turn his back on the course. Villano Vetsani, he's seen quite enough this afternoon, and the seasoned Brazilian retires. This wonderful 18-year-old Hermès van der Vrombaertshoeve. Well, Sienna Charles has certainly got her hands full with this next combination, because the Southern Italian Emanuele Gaudiano comes forward. He is 38 years of age. He is world rank number 52 as we stand. Ken Farrington, who took over the nigh on 3-year reign of Henry von Eckermann. Kent enjoying his second month as world number 1. But this pair, well, the win in Madrid they had was the 9th win they've enjoyed this year already. And of those 9 wins, 4 of those have been at 5-star level. They won in Madrid the Trofeo Olla, the 145 on Sunday. Emanuele Gaudiano, he was 16th in the Longines Global Champions Tour standings last year. Competed at 12 of the legs last season. His best finish actually last year Grand Prix wise was 7th place in Riesenbeck's Grand Prix with Nikolai de Music. But now Sienna Charles will be sitting nervously. Little rattle of the second. Vasco though does, I'm afraid, clatter the third, or the fourth I should say, with a little bit more punch. Yeah, because the second and the third up on the British time, but to no avail as they go for win number 10 this afternoon. Emanuele Gaudiano, yeah, the approach was wavering. Wasn't a straight line down to that big Oxa. The blue waves at 8. And then the Italian takes a good half forward as if to say, look, the game is, I'm afraid, done and dusted this afternoon. So Vasco a little bit out of sorts, bearing in mind their incredible string of 9 wins this year. This is an anomalous round for Emanuele Gaudiano. He comes home, but one of the favourites this afternoon has a surprising 12 penalties out of the course of Ilana Vezzani, Cedric Longis and Marco Latini. He licks his lips. He'll be back searching for more, or better than that, certainly as the week progresses here. Leg 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. This man is an elegant, effective horseman. I'm a huge admirer of Nicolas Delmont's style and effectiveness as well. He is 46 years of age, and Nico won number 130. He's had some massive Grand Prix wins. He won the Dietmar Grand Prix in 2017 with Ilex, his great jet black horse who retired late last season. He won at La Baule and Chantilly, 5-star Grand Prix. In 2021, what a year that was as well for Nicolas Delmont, but another one to have an early mistake, I'm afraid. This is Jordan Mulga M on course, stallion son of Toulon, cross to Dolph van der Bishop. This is Nicolas Delmont's first Longines Global Champions Tour start this year. I liken him stylistically a little bit to Ben Mayer. He's got that sort of poise that Ben has, that very impressive poise, certainly, for the world number 2. But this man, he's a magician, but I'm afraid it does not come off this afternoon. Only his second full season with Jordan Mulga M. Partnership formed July of last year. In fact, no, the August of the year before 2023 was the formation. But that was the mistake for Nicolas Delmont, and Jordan Mulga M, number 18 of GCL Rounders 1's individual group. Harry Charles getting started, and the 25-year-old, well, number 32, and this is superb Casco Blue on course. This pair had a Longines Global Champions Tour win in Hamburg 2022, and what a sensational, very first Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win it was for Harry. That came in London, Royal Chelsea Hospital last year in the wake of the Paris Olympic gold. Well, had time in his pocket, but that has ebbed away at the second interval, and then they meet a flat stride down to the white plank, I'm afraid. This horse, he's now 15 years of age. Harry's year last year, life-changing in his own words. Well, the time was pretty good, about half second down on Sienna Charles, but Harry purses his lips as the Charles goes begging, just flattened in the stride pattern down to that big plank. It's 155 tall, and even Casco Blue and Harry Charles can't come out of that little spot of bother on the approach out of this sharp turn back to fence number 9. Long way away on takeoff, and Casco Blue cannot get out over the top of it. Now this brilliant Gregory Cotard from the Wee Stables in Drocourt, far north of France, just to the south of Lille. About 100 kilometres only from the port of Calais. And this is his wonderful old partner, BBC. Early mistake, I'm afraid, for her as she takes the top of the Prague vertical at 3. Greg actually was 6th in the Grand Prix here last year with Coquin Duval. Had 4 penalties in the jump off, second best for France, behind Mathieu Billot, who was on the podium 3rd last year, behind a superb win for Jan Fredrik Zimmermann and Messi van Reutershoff. Greg's got a secret weapon, Michael Boron. His mental trainer was a former world champion in Taekwondo. And you'll see the simple tack he utilises. No nosebands, martingales typically. Does a lot of research, try and perfect the bridle for his horses as that interface between hand and mouth, which is of course critical. But BC out of sorts again this afternoon. She's been a wonderful horse for him. The horse has put him onto the French selector's eye line. And the daughter of Norman Prenoir is going to retire from GCL round 1. I'm afraid for Gregory Cotard. That was the first mistake in a checkered round. BC, it is her first 5-star show this year, so a little bit of rust, I think, on the old mare coming into Cannes. Actually, it's her very first time on the Longines Global Champions Tour, and the start, I'm afraid, does not go according to plan for Gregory Cotard. There are 4 more individuals to come, ladies and gentlemen, here. GCL round 1 in Cannes. And the seasoned Austrian, we welcome. He's 52 years of age, turned 52 in late February this year. Geoffrey Puck comes forward. This is his 2nd Longines Global Champions Tour start this year. He had a very good pair of GCL rounds in Doha at his first leg this year. He was 3rd in GCL round 1, Equitron Ornat the 5th in Qatar. And he was 3rd in GCL round 2 as well. That's behind Jan Vargas and Ellen Whittaker. And then Gerfried went on to be 5th in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Doha with Equitron Maxell the 5th. This afternoon, the man from locally to Salzburg in Austria gets started aboard Ideal Special HJ. The stallion, son of Falaise de Musa, crossed to Carigno, owned by Egbert Shep. For this man, whose championship career started for Austria back in 1999 at Hickstead, was his very first senior cap. Geoffrey Puck takes a tight line back to 4, nearly colliding with the timing equipment, but I'm afraid that tight turn punishes him with 2 down across the diagonal. 4, 5, A and B, that line. This pair started in April 2022. It is their 5th season together. The Stallion's first Longines Global Champions Tour starts. He's not got a lot of 5-star mileage, to be fair, which is the explanation for the early mistakes. Just jumped in La Bourre last year, that was their debut. This was again only at his 3rd 1 mid-55 start, so tall order, even though he is 12 years of age. But Geoffrey Puck is a master pilot. He is so seasoned, he can give horses confidence and experience and mileage very quickly. Such as his calmness in the heat of battle. Ideal Special HJ comes home. Geoffrey Puck is a wonderful gladiator and champion. He has 8 this afternoon, 67.29 is the Austrian time. Little white flag on the top there to denote the left flank of the fence, the red on the right side. Got to jump within red and white. And the FEI rules, there'll be no penalty if you were to knock that flag down, but that rail, I'm afraid, will be penalised, of course. The mighty scene that welcomes the mighty Harry Smulders. He is ward number 17. And this is his first Longines Global Champions Tour start, Harry, this year. He comes in superb form, having won the championship of the city of Hamburg last weekend with Mr. Tack. Harry this afternoon saddles Dies de Kerguelen, 12-year-old daughter of Milo Carthago, cross to Crusader. This was Harry co-owns with Elise Maigret and Jean-Christophe Lecomer. The last Longines Global Champions Tour start, and this is a very quick round. It was in Riyadh 2023 actually. They had a 5-star, not a Grand Prix win, but a Gothenburg win in Scandinavian in February, and Harry Smulders is just up on the time here of Sienna Charles. They've had 2 wins recently as well, Centaur Park in Belgium and Versilia in Italy. And Harry Smulders is chasing down here the British time. I think he's ahead here, 26.1 kilometres, exiting the GCL combination. Harry Smulders is going to go, no, just in behind Sienna Charles. Pretty much in top gear, I think, as well. So the young Brit having a sensational run, seeing off one big name after another. The 22-year-old holds off Harry Smulders, the former world number 1. Harry's twice-a-season champion, 2023 and 2017. The new starter is a man who was a former eventer, and his father, Pascal Leroy. Pascal had a brilliant 5th place at Babington Horse Trials, no less, in 2014 with Minos de Petra. Little touch of the opener, but Aurélien Leroy survives. This is Gloriana de Kerser on course number 23. This young mare, daughter of Canaan, crossed to winning mood van der Arenberg, owned by Castine Drevet for Aurélien Leroy. He had a super 3rd place in the Prix Eiffel Challenge last year in Paris. Croiseau de Blagnac, but the feathers, Liverpool, I'm afraid, at 6. There's the first blemish for him. Aurélien had a super 3rd place in the 5-star Grand Prix in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, again with Croiseau in 2023. And with this young man, only their 2nd year together, it's again their first 5-star show, their very first Longines Global Champions Tour show as well. And the exit fence of the GCL double will be the 2nd error for Aurélien Leroy. She's a very scopy mare, and we saw that as they won the 6th bar at Saint-Tropez-Gassin. Straight down the Côte d'Azur, westwards of our location here in Cannes, May of last year, but it's 2 down for Aurélien Leroy. And it's exciting 9-year-old mare Gloriana de Kerser this afternoon. It's number 23, the penultimate individual of GCL round 1 here, leg 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour in Cannes. The 24th and final individual, we welcome, 20 years of age. And she is world number 327. Geraldine Straumann is on the course for Switzerland. She had a brilliant Sunday last week. She was 6th in the Longines Grand Prix of Switzerland at St. Gallen. That was the best Swiss performance of the afternoon, better than even Martin Fuchs and Steve Gertin. Now Geraldine was 30th actually in the Grand Prix here last year with Long John Silver. This is a very nice start for HHS Cornetta. This paired together since October of last year, produced by Mikey Pender. It is their 4th 5-star start, only after Gothenburg, Ocala and Rome this year. This lady becoming a force to be reckoned with very quickly. Not bother Sienna Charles, but this has been a very fluent round from Geraldine Straumann. It's a young lady we must keep our eye firmly on in future years. She's becoming a star, as we saw in St. Gallen last week. It's a very smart clear for HHS Korneta Kontablenski's daughter. And she was another daughter of Kontablenski that was the very first individual horse this afternoon, Kievan to see. So we bookend the individuals with Kontablenski offspring. Very smart round from HHS Korneta and Geraldine Straumann. Part of the Basel Cosmopolitans that her father Thomas is owner of, and Andreas Sko, team manager. Well, that is Andreas Sko on the right side of the picture, who congratulates Geraldine Straumann on a very good round this afternoon. It was crisp, it was positive and calm in equal measure. Well, these are the standings, and Sienna Charles holds a good lead over Harry Smolders. What a round from Chawton for Great Britain. The 22-year-old is ahead of Harry. Megan Mossonier is the best for the home nation, 59.17. And Max Kuhner was typically cool and smooth for fourth place. Alexa Ferrer was very quick, but the penultimate denies her a top placing. Those are the standings after 24 have come. It's 58 in total to start this afternoon. And of course, the real focus is on the GCL team competition that will start at 5:20 in 15 minutes time here in Cannes for leg 5 on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Siahi, Istanbul Warriors' owner, looks at proceedings. And what a superb scene it is. Lorenzo De Luca, he sits back, the cool Italian. He won the brilliant Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Valkenswaard last year with Denver to Talma. That was Lorenzo's actually third win on the tour, having won twice in 2017 with Ensor de L'Étrange. Well, the scene is set, and wonderful to have Sienna Charles at the head of affairs here, bearing in mind her youth, bearing in mind that she's alongside Harry Charles here. That's dad, Peter. Peter, who won the Olympic team gold in London 2012 and actually jumped the winning round for Britain that afternoon with Vindicat W for the Olympic team title. That's now 13 years ago. His daughter is out in front here in Cannes of GCL round 1 with this stunning backdrop of the French Riviera. It's an incredible paradise here, snorkeling. There's wonderful diving opportunities up and down the Côte d'Azur. It's a coastline I know well, and it really is a jewel on the Mediterranean. And this wonderful main arena nestled in alongside the coastline. There's not a lot of time, there's not a lot of respirators, riders, owners or grooms. Sponsors, I hope, will have a little bit more time to enjoy the scenes here. But it is a wonderful occasion, and everybody is taking in as we anticipate the start of GCL Round 1's team competition. It is 17 teams that we swelled to this year. It was 14 teams last year on the GCL, but now 17 teams, and one of those teams will not qualify for the Prague playoffs in November. That is the problem if you are down the season standings in the GCL. You will not start at Prague if you're the last of the season. And if you're in the top 4 at the other end of the spectrum, you can qualify directly for the semi-finals. You miss the quarter-finals, that is the incentive to have a very good season, apart from, of course, the prestige of winning on the GCL. And certainly a fascinating course from Ilyana Vetsani that is testing the very best in world show jumping. No particular problem, but problems scattered around the course. There's certainly a happy atmosphere here as everybody enjoys the occasion. The weather's perfect, and leg 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour is proving very, very interesting, and it will get simply exciting as we go onwards this afternoon. We take a short break, ladies and gentlemen, but it's wonderful to have you here with us. Thank you for your company in Cannes. We'll be back very shortly. This is the quite stunning scene, ladies and gentlemen. This is the French Riviera. We are in the Département Alpes-Maritimes at the wonderful City of Stars that is Cannes. Leg 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour comes to France. The first of a run of 3 here in France. And this is the quite outstanding location, the home of the famous film festival. And we've been coming here now. This is the 18th edition. First held here in 2006, the Longines Global Champions Tour has been stopping off in this seaside port of France. This is the 8th edition of the GCL here in Cannes, and it's a very nice Thursday afternoon, 24 degrees. There's a little bit of cloud action in the sky, but nothing to distract from the mighty atmosphere. Only one team has won here twice in the 7 former editions, and that was Falcons United. They did the consecutive double 2017 and 18, and the defending champions Stockholm Hearts went on to win the Super Cup at the Riyadh playoffs last year. Stockholm Hearts, they are the defending champions. Riesenbeck International, they won here in 2023, and Prague Lions won in 2022, and Ilan Levetsani, the man we just saw leaned up on the fence, he is the master of the course for the GCL rounds here in Cannes. Shanghai Swans were unstoppable. They won at home in Shanghai. They won in Mexico City as well. They're trailed closely by Falcons United, who won last time in Madrid. And Cannes Stars, last year's season's champions, they won the first leg in Doha. They are sitting very handily on the same score as Falcons Vard. Monaco Comets, a brand new team this year. Deborah Myers, all-lady cast. They are in 4th place. Rome Gladiators fielding John Whittaker this afternoon, so they look to climb up from 12th place at the moment. And in the danger zone, 15, 16 and 17, as only 16 teams will qualify for the Prague playoffs. Paris Panthers back of the pack after now 4 legs. We take you around the course of Ilan Levetsani here in Cannes. The Italian maestro set another fascinating course. That is 430 metres in length. The time allowed is 69 seconds this afternoon. A Table A format, and that is the opening vertical. They'll run down after the 150 tall Longines fence down to the violet spirals. That's the first oxer, 150 square at 2. They then turn back right ahead of the big screen. Not easy with the distraction factor 155 tall, the Prague vertical. This line 4 to 5 AB is very hard. The only question is punishing. Oxer is not wide in at 1 metre wide only to try and encourage a tight turn into it. And then it will walk 4 strides down to the first of the 3 double combinations, 5A and B. It's a big fence going in, 155 tall, and then 8 metres and 10 it wheels. 1 stride down to a very tall square oxer, 150 by 160 out of the opening combination. Once you're through the early perils of Ilan Levetsani's course, this is a huge isolated fence awaiting the Liverpool, the Feathers at 6, 150 by 160, and then down to the Gold Seahorses double. It's been influential already this afternoon, 155 apiece, 8 metres 40, so a forward 1 stride down through there, and then 6 short strides it walks. Blue Waves at 8, 150 by 160. This is a very sharp turn. If you want to win this afternoon, it will have to be even sharper. 155 tall is the movie plank. That is fence number 9, and then 5 or 6 suspending outside or inside to get down to the Longines oxer. 150 by 160 at 10. This, the last combination, is really tough. 11A and B, the GCL double. 2 strides in between. 150, 160 oxer in, and 155 tall is the vertical exiting. It's really tough at the end of the course as endurance and stamina can't start to come into question. And this, the home turn back to the GC oxer. 155 by 160. The global champions is the last fence on the course this afternoon. Course weaves its way around the main arena here. You'll see the serpentine pattern course designers typically employ to allow horses to feel as though they're flowing, trying to replicate their natural instincts and making it flowing. But these are the 17 teams, and Paris Panthers looking for a good leg this time. Clara Pezzoli and Guido Grimaldi, the pair for Italy, to lead us into action. Prague Lions won here in 2022, powered by Czech Equestrian Team. Thibaut Spitz won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Riesenbeck last year. This team, Monaco Comets, they've had a great season. Edwina Tops-Alexander and her first start this year, Ines Joly. Riesenbeck have got Christian Kuckuck and Marco Kucha. Marco second in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Madrid. John Whittaker alongside Rikke Blinderbarker. The legendary Brits against the young Dane, or with the young Dane for Rome Gladiators. And, well, Shanghai Swans out in first place. Christian Alman, he's alongside Ben Mayer, the world number 2. And this team, the defending champions here, Stockholm Hearts, Jane Richard and Marlin Bayard-Jonsson. Michael Duffy, the Irishman, alongside Andreas Skov for Basel Cosmopolitans. And New York Empire had a very good third place in Shanghai. Dennis Lynch teams up with Robert Murphy. Istanbul Warriors will bring us to team number 10, Hassan Senturk, alongside the young rider European champion Oliver Fletcher. And Falcons United, they were the winners in Madrid, have Lorenzo De Luca and Oliver Lazarus, the Italian and the South African. Scandinavian Vikings, Neil Fearon comes in, medical transfer. He substitutes in for Deirdre Riley and Jörg Vreeling. Madrid in motion, they won here in 2019, fielding the 2 seasoned performers Michael van der Vleuten and Eduardo Fares Asnar. Cannes Stars, the season champions last year. The 2 very strong ladies for Germany. And Doha Falcons, Jean Coutin alongside Willem Vermeer. 2 very good horses for Doha Falcons. This team had a great first podium this year, 3rd in Madrid. And it's Mariano Martinez Bastida alongside Max Watchman. And our anchor team, Mexico Migos, they were 4th in Doha. They have the seasoned Kern Vereka against exciting, upcoming, fast rising Belgian star that is Zoe Conter. Great to have your company wherever you are viewing from worldwide. It will be a sensational afternoon. My name is Ed Holloway, and it's great to be here in Cannes to witness leg 5 of the GCL this year. It's the 8th edition, as I say, of the GCL here in Cannes. And of the 7 former champions, only Falcons United have won here twice. They had the consecutive wins in 2017 and 2018. So Clara Pezzoli will lead Paris Panthers, hoping to pounce this afternoon. They need to pounce. They've had a trying season. They look to write the record. The crowd gets behind them, which is great to hear. Clara alongside Guido Grimaldi. She is 30 years of age. This partnership formed in October of last year. This is their 2nd Longines Global Champions Tour start after Shanghai. And it's only their 2nd 1m55 course, because they did jump GCL round 1 in China. Clara started training with Francesco Tuttoriello, the Italian, last year. Helps her a lot with the psychological aspects of top-class show jumping, which can never be underestimated, but I'm afraid the Orchestra 2 goes. The Violet Spirals. Clara is a very good producer of young horses. She's had a lot of young horse wins in her career. She only stepped up to 5-star level actually November last year in Verona at Fiera Cavalli Horse Show up in the north of her home country. 2nd early rail for Clara, and now a 3rd. But this is the point, you've got to be at the level for a number of years, I think, to feel comfortable to perform. There's so much at stake. Mastering your horse, your own nerves, your trainer's expectations, your own expectations. It's a mouth-watering list that riders must overcome to perform at this level. And Clara Pezzoli, she's learning her trade at the sharpest level of world show jumping. As another pair of errors in the GCL double, I'm afraid, to scar the opening card of the GCL here in Cannes. Clara Pezzoli comes home to get Paris Panthers campaign underway. A slightly sheepish look about her, but it's a big occasion. 5-star show jumping is some sporting milestone to have achieved, but it is going to be 29 penalties, because one for time as well for Clara Pizzoli and Quazzo della Caccia for Italy and Paris Panthers. The next to come is a brilliant amateur, because his family business is the Grimaldi Group, the shipping company in Naples in Italy at base. Guido Grimaldi was 9th in the penultimate class in Shanghai with us. That was a Candy Rose, the 1 meter 50. And then had a very good 21st place in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in China. Gentleman is on the course and away well for Guido Grimaldi. No, just a little bit deep into the double 5A and B. That 4-stride distance down between 4 and 5A be the first real concentration point. You've got to concentrate everywhere, but that's the first real tester. This man had his first ever Grand Prix win. That was a massive 4-star World Cup Grand Prix. He won at the Al Shirar Horse Show in Abu Dhabi in mid-January this year. This man trained by Luis Felipe Cortizo de Azevedo Filho, we saw earlier in the individuals. He'll be away on business, and Luis will get his horses ready at the shows. He'll literally arrive back 1 day or so prior to competition starting and hop aboard. So that is the impressive nature of this man's life and love. Life with the shipping business and love in the saddle. Good round from Guido Grimaldi in the GCL here in Cannes with gentlemen.
A very tough start for the Paris Panthers here in the Global Champions League, round 1 of Cannes. 29 penalties for Clara Pizzoli and 4 for Guido Grimaldi means they finish their opening round on 33 penalties. You imagine that is going to see them finish right down at the bottom of today's GCL competition. But, of course, we'll find that out later on. Now we continue. Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team. If you want to watch the rest of GCL round 1 live from Cannes, make sure you sign up for a GCTV live pass and come and join us in the French Riviera for the rest of GCL here on GCTV.